on your hymn sheet this morning, I don't have mine. Would you give me a hymn sheet, please? Well, we're not going to sing it for a moment, but I like this hymn. I was thinking of this before the meeting too, so I got in line on two things, if nothing else. Singing the Old Rugged Cross and this hymn. I will praise him. Look at the second stanza. Though the way seems straight and narrow, all I claimed was swept away. My ambitions, plans, and wishes at my feet in ashes lay. I said in a meeting in Scotland as we closed it years back, I said, if you let this be true in your life, you'll bring your ambitions, your plans, your wishes, your own desires, your self-life, put it on the altar, God will burn it up, and he'll do more with the ashes than you can do with your entire personality. And I said, if you want this blessing, raise the hand. A dozen people raised their hand, and I said, anyone else? A little woman at the back raised her hand like that, down. I said, I saw it. She got flaming red hair. 15 years after, my dear wife and I were in Manchester at a missionary meeting. And the meeting was as flat as a pancake. Ugh, there was nothing in it. The last man to speak sat down. The man leading the meeting said, would you like to hear a testimony? Yes. And he asked a little red-haired woman. Her legs were so short she couldn't even touch the gun. She kept doing this while the preacher was preaching. I thought, yes, I'd kick him if I could get near him too. But I think it's because her legs were short. And you know, she stood up, and that sleepy audience that afternoon suddenly sprang to life on the edge of the sea. She says, I remember being in the Cherryfield Mission in Dundee, Scotland one afternoon. I went to hear a certain preacher. He couldn't come. Ravenhill preached. I thought, no, that can't be that little red-haired woman. I used to be afraid to go out in the dark. A mouse ran over the floor. I never understand why a woman weighing 140 pounds jumps on a chair when a mouse weighing half an ounce is going to knock her over. You'd think it was a bulldozer coming. I daredn't face a mouse. I daredn't face the darkness. I didn't want to be lonely. And she said, hallelujah, that afternoon. All I did was sweep the floor in the factory. And the devil said, you know, the baptism of the Spirit, the endowment with power is only for intellectuals and ministers and preachers and prospective missionaries. It's not for servant girls. It's not for a girl sweeping the factory of a floor. You've no education. But Ravenhill said, bring what you have and let God burn it up. And she said, that was my lifeline. I ran to that altar that afternoon. And she said, the fire came and consumed all my desires and all my fears and all my tomorrows. I'm just back from Africa, been there nearly 15 years. Oh, I'm not afraid of mice, she says some nights. There's a lion at the door. Oh, she said, I turn over and say, go off, I'm not on the menu tonight. Sometimes I have to walk on a log in the middle of the night with a man holding lights in front of me, and there's a hippo with his mouth open, or a crocodile. I deliver a baby, and he says, I'll go back with you because there's a man eating like... No, it's all right. She says, I come back singing, oh, blessed assurance. He took away my fear of man. He took away my fear of death. He took away my fear of consequences. And she said, when I, an illiterate girl, went to the Bible school in Birkenhead, I was in the top 10 students in languages. In English, and I couldn't write before I went there. I went to the International School of Languages in Paris, and I came out on the Dean's List again. And now in the wilds of Africa, living by myself in a hut where I would have been terrified. I'd have died the first day. I don't want to stay in Scotland. I want to get back to Africa where God's working. And she said, that little hut is filled with the glory of God like the Shekinah temple. Oh, out of a life that was so useless till I laid it all at God's feet. One last thing.